Bhutan seemed more lush than Tibet and Nepal. We were around 8,000 feet in elevation there, and the weather was very pleasant. Mountains encompass much of the landscape. A large part of Bhutan is still forested. Bhutan's elected government is relatively new. They pride themselves on having gross national happiness as a long-term goal. It includes sustainability, conservation, and preservation. The Bhutanese believe they have chosen the best from democracies around the world. People had to wear traditional clothing to work, where applicable. They revere their king and his family. There are pictures of them everywhere. We did not see street people or weren't bothered by hucksters. Much of the heavy work, though, was often done by manual labor rather than machines. Bhutan seemed to be a healthy mix of order and happy people who had freedom to make their own decisions, and was probably our favorite of the three places we visited. We left Kathmandu, Nepal uneventfully and flew along the southern edge of the Himalayas. We walked to the National Memorial Stupa in Thimphu, the capital. Bhutan is a Buddhist country. Prayer wheels would be spun in a clockwise direction, and people would walk around the stupa also in a clockwise direction. We then went to a school that teaches traditional crafts like carving, embroidering, sewing. A dzong was a fort in the old days, and now it's used by the monks and the administration of the area. We walked up to the largest sitting Buddha in the world. They were having kind of a revival, and there were lots of tents and other people around. We went inside the sitting Buddha, and it was really ornate. Gold everywhere. The mark between Buddha's eyes is supposed to be made of diamonds. Here's an overview of Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan. We then went to a Talcon preserve, which is a little like a goat head on a cow body, although you had to really stretch your imagination to see that. Most of the building construction is rammed earth, which they use forms and pound dirt into a very strong wall. Butter is used from cooking to candles. We then went to a dzong in the daytime, and again, it's an administrative place right now. Quite impressive, made of rammed earth. After we left the market, we went next door to an archery competition. I videoed them shooting arrows 17 times and did not once see them hit this target. When the target is hit, a victory dance is done. On the other side of the fence, there was a contest with compound bows. There is so little flat land in Bhutan that we had to drive back to Paro, where the airport is. The few roads we were on were well maintained and paved. Remember, nature is the source of all happiness. You could hire horses to go up halfway to the tiger's nest, but we didn't wuss out. There was a creek coming down the mountain, and they harnessed it to turn prayer wheels inside 3 different buildings. You could ride the horses up, but they're coming down on their own. The story that goes along with the tiger's nest is a famous monk flew there on the back of a tigress and established this monastery. We were able to go inside after taking our shoes off, and it was very ornate as well. we could not make a connecting flight from Bhutan and had to fly to Bangkok. We were there for a little over a day. We watched a young lady make silk thread from silkworm cocoons. Some of the thread was a natural color because of the cocoon, but most of them weren't. We saw a few quirky things like Joe Louis's traditional Thai puppet theater, a couple of gold elephants which the Thai revere, New Zealanders who were getting their skin cleaned by nipping minnows, and ice cream in a bun. And finally, on our flight home on a 777, windows that had sensors in which you could control the light.